Chapter 9. Goodbye, Mr. Dernier. Later that evening, Tom phoned Kamal. He told him about his meeting with Julie. Kamal listened while Tom explained what had happened. "Okay," he said when Tom had finished. "Listen, I think I understand what's happening. Angela was working for Dernier, right?" "Yes." "And then she was worried about something. Something at work, right?" "Yes." "Okay. And then she had her accident. But it wasn't an accident. Tom, you know what I think? I think Angela is alive. She's here, somewhere in Istanbul. Dernier is holding her prisoner." "What?" "Think about it, Tom. Angela was worried about something at work. We think it was something to do with Dernier and his export business. And now she has disappeared. But she isn't dead. There was no car accident. Dernier is holding her prisoner. I'm sure of it." "But," began Tom, "I don't—" "Listen, Tom," continued Kamal. "What about the man in the Topkapi Palace today? The man who followed us? You know what I think, Tom? I think Dernier and his friends have been watching you since you arrived in Istanbul. They know where you are staying. They know you went to the consulate, and that's how they followed us to the palace today. They know everything about you, Tom." "God," said Tom quietly. "My God, Kamal. I think you're right. You must be right. But what are we going to do now?" "I'll tell you," said Kamal. "They know where you are staying, and they know you're looking for Angela. That's why they're watching you. They want to find out what you do next. Well, I'll tell you what you're going to do next. You're going to leave Istanbul. Now listen." Next morning, Tom checked out of his hotel. "Thank you," he said to the receptionist. "And goodbye." "Leaving Istanbul?" "Yes, I'm going home." "Goodbye, sir. Have a good journey." Tom took a taxi to Dernier's office. The driver stopped outside. "Wait here, please," said Tom. "I'll be back in a few minutes." He went into the office. "Good morning," he said to the secretary. "Is Mr. Dernier here? I've come to say goodbye." She went to the office. Mr. Dernier came out.
"Ah, Mr. Smith."
"Good morning, Mr. Dernier. I've come to say goodbye."
"Leaving so soon?"
"Yes. I went to the British consulate yesterday and spoke to Mr. Pennington. It seems there's nothing I can do here. I'm going back to London. Thank you for your help."
"You're welcome, Mr. Smith. Once again, I'm very sorry about your fiancée. I'm sorry your visit to Istanbul wasn't a happy one."
"Thank you. And goodbye. My plane leaves at midday."
"At midday? I see. Goodbye, Mr. Smith. Have a good journey."
The two men shook hands. Tom turned and left the office. His taxi was waiting. "The airport, please," he said as he got in. The taxi moved off. Another car, parked 20 meters away, moved away from the pavement and started following. At the airport, Tom walked over to the British Airways desk. He asked about the flight to London, but he did not check in. Then he bought a newspaper and sat down to wait. He looked round the busy airport. Somewhere among all these people, he thought, someone is watching me.
He opened his newspaper and started reading. Then there was an announcement over the loudspeaker. British Airways announced the departure of their flight TK 979 for London. Will passengers please proceed to Gate 6 for boarding? Tom picked up his things and walked towards passport control. There were lots of people at the entrance to passport control. Tom went into the crowd of people and moved towards a large man whose relatives were saying goodbye. Suddenly, he turned and went into the men's toilet. In the toilet, he took off his jacket and started to wash his hands and face. No one followed him into the toilet. Then there was another announcement. British Airways flight TK 979 for London. This is the final announcement. Will passengers please proceed immediately to Gate 6? This gate is now closing. Tom heard the announcement, but didn't move. He looked at his watch and smiled to himself. The man in the grey raincoat walked over to the telephone kiosks and dialed a number.
Hello. I saw him leave.
Yes.
He's on the plane.
The man put the phone down and walked away towards the exit. Half an hour later, Tom was in a taxi on his way to Kamal's flat in Sicily. Kamal opened the door.
Hello, Tom, he smiled. Everything okay?
No problem, smiled Tom. I went into the crowd at passport control. Then I hid in the toilet at the last minute.
Well done. Dernier and his friends will think you have gone back to London. Now you can stay here in my flat, and we can start looking for Angela.
And we know where to start, don't we?
Yes. Dernier's office,
replied Kamal.